everyone, welcome, Ankibo here, and today I bring you guys the Flower Fun team for Pokemon Champions, so you can play that on ladder, and it's gonna be a really fun team because we're playing two flower Pokemon. That's why we have that name. And the first one, of course, let me show you, will be the Eternal Floette. So for you guys that have played Pokemon Legends C8, you want to be able to play this team. It's really fun. It's really fun. And we're playing Floette because we have access to Floette, of course, and the Mega Evolution, but we are not running the normal build you probably have seen so many times already on ladder. We're running a quiet Trick Room Doublet Flower team. We're playing Flower Veil instead of Symbiosis because we want to allow MEOWSCARADA, that I'm going to introduce next, to not get the stats lowered by Incineroar or Arcanine or any other Intimidate Pokemon. Now, we don't have that many Intimidate Pokemon, but those are two that are definitely going to be blocking our ability to play MEOWSCARADA. So by having Floette and MEOWSCARADA play next to each other, this Flower Veil is going to allow us to use the Sucker Punch and Flower Trick without worrying about anything else, so that's pretty nice. Other than that, Light of Ruin, obviously really strong, the strongest hitting move in the game. We're running Quiet so we can use this on top of either Trick Room or out of Trick Room, so I like it. And then finally we have a really straightforward MEOWSCARADA team with Flower Trick. Sucker Punch, you might want to play Knockoff, obviously. Actually, Knockoff might be better, but since we're trying to play this team with Trick Room, Sucker Punch makes more sense to me, so we have access to a prior move once we have set up the Trick Room, and especially if you're running Overgrow, it's going to allow you to at least connect with the Flower Trick once at least. So I like that a lot. So we have Sucker Punch, Flower Trick, Ally Switch. Ally Switch is really interesting because we're running Focus Sash. We can lead with, for example, Farigiraf and MEOWSCARADA and do the ally switch so we can use the Trick Room. So the opponent will have no idea what's going on. We're going to absorb that Kowtow Cleave, that Knockoff or whatever with the MEOWSCARADA by using ally switch, and we're going to be able to set up a Trick Room for our team. So it's a pretty cool combo. We have so many good leads with this team that you're going to be able to lead Floette, MEOWSCARADA, or Farigiraf and MEOWSCARADA. It's a pretty cool combination. Anyway, just one more thing. The reason why I'm bringing Synthesis with the Floettes is so once we have set up the Sun with Torkoal, we're going to be able to heal with Synthesis even more. And it's going to be awesome. We're going to be able to pretty much fully heal with Floette, and because we have so many defenses on this Pokemon, and naturally with the Mega Evolution, we're going to be able to survive a lot more. So that's one thing to consider. And the second thing is just overall a pretty straightforward Torkoal for the Trick Room. We have Charcoal for the Heat Wave and Eruption, of course, Drought, and Helping Hand, Air Power. Instead of Helping Hand, you can just bring Protect, you can bring Weather Ball. There's so many things you can do with Helping Hand, so don't worry about it too much. Just put whatever you think is going to be most useful for your team here. And finally, we have Gallade, pretty important Pokemon for your team. We have Scope Lens for the Sacred Sword, Psycho Cut, and Sharpness, just to increase our critical hit damage. And, of course, White Guard. Very important to have White Guard because there's a lot of Garchomps. I had one Garchomp in every single enemy team. So White Guard is going to allow you to don't worry about Earthquake as much and just go for the Trick Room, some other situations with the Farigiraf, sorry. And finally, we have Garchomp. You have to have a Garchomp, right? Why not? A Yacha Berry, just to absorb some of those blizzards if you face a ice team. Also pretty popular, the I forgot its name. Shuriken Pokemon. Whatever, I'll just cut this out. The point is, you're going to be facing a few ice moves, and you want to have this berry to at least minimize the amazingly effective damage, or 4 times effective damage against you. We got it. Extremely effective damage, sorry, against you. So that's why I bring the Yacht Berry. But you can just play it like Citrus Berry. You can play it with something else. In fact, if you want to play Citrus Berry here, it's fine. Either is fine. Rough Skin is pretty important to bring, just to give back some damage when they hit go for your Garchomp with a physical hit. Earthquake, Dragon Claw, Stomping Tantrum, obviously pretty straightforward. Protect, we can lead Garchomp and Gallade, and if you use White Guard with Gallade, and then use the Earthquake, you'll be able to take down a lot of opponents that are leading with a bad lead. and you don't take any damage because of the white guard. So yeah, that's pretty much the team, guys. Really excited to give you guys some names. Floette and MEOWSCARADA, the flower team. MEOWSCARADA, unfortunately, is not a really strong Pokemon. I wouldn't recommend you guys try to climb too high with this team, but it is a lot of fun. That is for sure. So again, guys, as usual, if you appreciate my content, you want to support me, please subscribe, leave me a comment and like, and tell me what you want to see me play next for this channel. And have a beautiful night. I'll see you guys next time. A Kangaskhan team. Basculegion most likely is the Adaptability version. So 1.5 damage for each of their different type moves on that Basculegion. It's going to be slower than usual, but they could be running Choice Scarf with it. That would be smart. Other than that, of course, the Kingambit is an issue, and especially on the Trick Room, we might struggle, but fortunately, I think that our little turtle here should be able to destroy most of their team, now that I think about it, with the exception, of course, of that Basculegion. So we're going to try to set up something. I'm going to go for Gallade. The question is, do we go for Garchomp or Fardigraph, sorry. They don't have that many priority moves, actually. I'm gonna go for the actual combo, because I feel like Garchomp can deal a lot of damage to their team. Like a lot of damage to their team. Ooh, baby, that is perfect. That gets me rolling. So we're gonna go for like White Guard into Earthquake and see how this pans out. This is the first time I'm gonna be trying this combo. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. I have not played Airworm that often. Obviously, it's gonna be able to absorb some damage, but I don't know if we still hit the Kingambit. That's actually a good try. Let's figure it out. So we White Guard, sorry. Do we connect to both here? I mean, to one at least? Yes, we do. Beautiful. What is a bulky version of the Earthworm? That's fine. We can repeat that, actually. They might go for the Mega. And for Shadow Ball, they could also be running a single target ice move, but I don't think so. They're probably gonna Mega here to set up the snow. Yep, that's fine. If I were they, I would Shadow Ball into... Yeah, probably Shadow Ball either of my Pokemon. So they go for the Blizzard, which is not a great idea. I already showed them I'm willing to do the White Guard last turn. So that doesn't do anything for them, actually. I think I'm just going to Sacred Sword here. And Thumping Tantrum here. Maybe it's not enough to take down the Frostlass. Honestly, White Guard is just smarter overall. I'm not in love with doing White Guard here, but I think the Earthquake makes more sense. Just in case the opponent is trying to make a read on me. Yeah. The critical hit obviously hurts a lot. Ooh, we have a spammer. And off he goes. Cool. So, I'm gonna take out a Turtle. I'm gonna take out a Turtle because already the Trick Room is out of the question. We want to be able to replace the sun, replace the snow, and threaten some high damage. We're just gonna go for Heat Wave, nothing fancy. And honestly, Protect? Nah, I'm gonna Dragon Claw. They might be able to double hit KO my Turtle. We'll see what the opponent does. Defense is a terrible idea in this position. I don't know why they went for that. Now, unless I miss like both of the hit waves, this should be a great position for us. Yeah, they're both down. Okay. The opponents had to double onto my Turtle, I think. Like, they definitely have to target my Turtle. Now, Basculeon is gonna one-shot us with that very, very nasty, Last Respect, but the thing is, even with that, right? I think we're faster with Garchomp. Ooh, unless they're gonna... Oh, if they're running... Yeah. Difficult decision. I think Eruption makes the most sense, even if it's not enough accomplish. And Dragon Claw, honestly. This is just a safe play. They go for Aqua yet. Why though? You can just Last Respects, right? Why didn't you just Last Respects, opponent? That was weird. That was really weird. I don't know about that one. The opponent concedes and we are off to the next one. Let's go for it. This seems like the best lead, and it's going to be an interesting matchup for sure, either way. I don't think they have anything clearly obvious threatening for us. They're probably running White Hair, Sneasler, which is scary because of the fake out, but with Farigria, that covers a lot from us. So they're not going to be able to activate the White Hair. Not like it matters if we Trick Room. I'm just going to Trick Room. and Psychic. Which goes to show you that I don't know what people are playing. If I knew they had dual Wind Beat, I would probably not do that. They poison us, that is not the greatest, not the worst either. Oof. So I need to be aware of the dual Wind Beat with those Aerodactyl builds. We of course have to try and trick room that. If we Mega Evolve, do we have a chance at winning this? Maybe? I mean, we have to try either way, so might as well go for it. We want to try to Light of Ruin and Trick Room. Trick Room is very likely not to happen. My biggest mistake this match is not knowing that they play dual Wind Beat with the Aerodactyl and they have enough attack to just take us down. That's fine. We need not to get flinch. If we get flinch, it's over. We might be able to come back into this game, guys. Somehow we might be able to. Which is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy that we might be able to come back into this match. If they bring Cerulege, we don't though. So I guess we're going to Eruption then. This might be Cerulege. Yes, it is. They do have a Wide Guard, huh? That is exactly 50% that we're running. Oh, the leftovers though. So we need a critical hit. We need a critical hit and some amount of luck. Do we get the critical hit? Maybe they protect as well. That's also another option. They go for Wide Guard. If we get a critical hit or a high roll. We need a KO here. We don't get it. That's unfortunate. That means we're out of here. Right, so we need to remember the dual Wind Beat on the Aerodactyl will one-hit KO our Gallade. So unfortunately, we cannot bring Gallade into that matchup if they have the Aerodactyl. We need to set up a Trick Room turn 1, I think. That's the only way we win games, so. Our only win condition is just setting up that turn 1. We have 2 flyers, so we cannot bring Garchomp. MEOWSCARADA is very weak to Unfortunately, a big part of our team, I cannot bring MEOWSCARADA here. So we're going with the Farigiraf and the Gallade team again. I mean, lead as well. We want to try to Trick Room turn 1 and set up some damage or defensive moves with the other Pokemon. Alright, but double single target. We'll try to survive and set it up. We get paralyzed, that is unfortunate. We do set up the Trick Room though. And because we do get that, I feel confident just to Hyper Voice until we get a KO. Of course, we get paralyzed. The opponent goes for agility on their Trick Room. That seems smart. That was sarcasm, by the way. And we get a double KO. Goes to show you how different the skill level on the opponents can be from one match to the next, even in as low as Great Ball. Alright, Hydreigon Steelix, huh? Happy to just helping Hat and try to hit. If we get paralyzed though, that will feel so bad if we get paralyzed, huh? Okay, we got it. We go for the one hit KO and we get it. Nice. How many turns do we have of Trick Room? This is our last turn of Trick Room. So I guess we can just Sacred Sword and bring out Floette to resist the Assurance if they go for another one. Maybe we should run Protect on the Firegrave. Farigiraf. I hate that name. Farigiraf. Whatever. Maybe we should run a Protect instead of Helping Hand. Ooh, a Sun team. With Fake Outs and all that good stuff. I like it. I like it. I like their team, actually. How do they set up the Sun, though? Does Mega Venusaur set up the Sun? Probably does, right? I haven't played that much at Mega Venusaur, so I don't know. It probably does set up the Sun now that I think about it. I mean, for your Red's a must. We need protection from... We need protection from the Trios with that Instant. The Gallade is looking nice as well. Because of its Sacred Sword against their Sun. I mean, MEOWSCARADA would hit neutral to two of them. Oh my god, there's so many resistances to MEOWSCARADA. I cannot bring MEOWSCARADA to this match either, man. I am so sad. Alright, so let's just play it safe. Garchomp is not great either, as a lead at least. So we're gonna have to play the team as... Like, honestly, if I want to run a MEOWSCARADA team, probably Protean will be smarter. As much as I would like not to admit that it is. If they want to Rage Powder, that's fine. If they want to Trick Room, that's fine. So I'm just going to Sacred Sword. And get the free KO for whatever reason. I think that Vincent should have enough defenses to survive that. Funny enough. They deny my Trick Room, which is not a big deal because we still have both of our Trick Room setters full HP. If the opponent wants to use their turn denying my Trick Room, I am more than happy to allow them, honestly. Going to double onto the Dinosaur. Double hit. Hopefully a KO, but we'll see. Leech Seed is indeed scary. But unfortunately for the opponent, it's not gonna do anything because we get the free critical hit. That is unfortunate. They go for some cheap damage, that's fine. And we're gonna deal some cheap damage as well. By cheap I mean 50% of our HP, alright? And the opponent says, nah, I'm out of here, bye-bye. Bye-bye, opponent. Like, look at this, like, they have 1, 2, 3 resistances to grass, and I need to pray that they actually played the T-Tar instead of anything else. And they can just play Arcanine, and like, it's so hard to make it work, right? We need to play Fire with that for sure, because we don't want to freaking get, we don't want to get taunted, or we don't want to get encored, so we need to run this game. And then Gallade makes a lot more sense in this situation because of the Hyper Boy. So as much as I want to run MEOWSCARADA, like, Sucker Punch is doing nothing here, absolutely nothing here. And Flower Trick is only hitting what, 1 of our Pokemon for like 2 of our Pokemon for neutral. So sad that we can't run my girl. Garchomp is decent, though. Garchomp is decent. Oof. So obviously we just go Trick Room and White Guard. No reason to do anything else here. Just to prevent the Hyper Boys from hearing us. And that, of course. An interesting decision to go for a Rock Slide, I'm not gonna lie. At this point, Hyper Voice is not the worst thing ever. And Sacred, obviously really good. They might switch into Resistance to us. They can bring on 1 Resistance, which I am not too worried about. I'm just going to Hyper Voice here and Sacred Sword. And as much as it seems silly that we went for the Trick Room, this guarantees that whatever they bring back, yep, now we have a situation where we're faster. We can even go for the Floette. I actually think I'm gonna go for it. We have 2 turns of Trick Room after this. We're gonna be able to connect at least once with the Torkoal, I believe. They count us. Alright. I mean, if it ain't broken. Did we use Psychic here? Probably so. Probably so. Love to see it. Bye-bye. We're gonna go down to like 20% HP, I think. Yep, we do. Arcanine, a very fast Pokemon, so this is going to delete it. Oh, here's what we were waiting for. A not very effective Lighter Ruin, huh? A not very effective Lighter Ruin, just saying. Please don't miss. Okay, didn't miss. How much damage though? Not very effective. Light of Ruin is very effective. Light of Ruin. I love this Pokemon. Bye bye. Ow. I love this Pokemon so much. And we are off to the next one. Nizzler though. Nizzler is very scary. But we're gonna play it. We're gonna play it and we're gonna have fun. So here comes the Meowie. MEOWSCARADA. We're bringing the MEOWSCARADA. For you, good sir. And of course it's rain. When is it not rain? When is it not rain? So they could go for Hurricane Thunder and kinda just block those, right? So the safest play would be Trick Room into Ally Switch. That guarantees the Trick Room. But that is not very fun now, is it? That is not very fun at all. I wanna trust my girl. I wanna trust my girl right now. Come on, girl. Aww. Now, if they go for Hurricane and double onto the Fire Grab, we're done. We're super done if they go for that. And that's a fast Arcaladon. Interesting decision. Huh. Sure. Interesting decision. So I'm gonna bring out Torkoal and Ally Switch. This seems sketchy, but guarantees we set up the sun. And hopefully absorb something. Yeah, I mean, that's decent. So now we are going to Sucker Punch and Air Power. This is not gonna be able to take the KO because we're gonna switch into the Pelipper and put the Rain. But this should secure us the KO next turn. Ooh, we're so close. Oh, that feels bad. We're so close to getting that. That's one hit KO. Yikes. It kind of hurts, but we had to do it. Now, they are gonna be faster than me, and I am already so scared about this play, but we have to go for the Eruption. We're in a position where it does hit pretty effective, neutral and not very effective, but with this amount of HP on our Arcaladon, they either need to switch out and take a risk or just let it go down, so I think the Eruption makes a lot of sense, even if we have the Rain, and it's only doing 50%. Yeah, they switch up, that's fine. That is still fine. It's not great, but it's fine. They U-turn though. Interesting decision to U-turn. What are they gonna ring out? Huh. I mean, I think I'm fine with that. We're gonna take like a little bit of damage. But we get the big guy down, which is always great. What is their last Pokemon though? Huh. That was an interesting switch out. Basculegion! Oh, that is... Wow, that is so interesting, alright. I mean, we just let it ring here. And honestly, I'm happy with to go with another Eruption. Maybe even just switch out, right? I'm just gonna switch out, funny enough. Light do is fine, but I mean, we want to be able to one-shot unless we miss. If we miss, we're in a really bad position though. Oh, okay, we don't miss. We never miss. We never miss. Ooh, Light of Ruin, baby. Light of Ruin, baby. And at this point is more of a it's more of a given that we secure the victory. We're in a really strong position. The opponent knows and concedes. Well played, opponent. We are up 3-1. Wow, they have a little bit of everything. They use a bunch of mix of this is pretty much a balance without balance, if you know what I mean. They have a snow lead, that's fine. I think this is the obvious answer to most of their threats, so I'm gonna go for it. Our Fire Grab both locks their White Herb with the Nizzler. Not like it matters, we set up the Trick Room, but something to consider, for sure. They could just bring out the Nizzler at the end. Well, it doesn't matter too much. Just want to avoid the fake out. That is a really interesting lead. What am I afraid of here? Moonblast Darkglow taking down my Fire Graph is what I'm guessing it's what I'm worried about. I mean, even if that's the case, right? Am I that scared about it? Probably not. They fake out against the Armored Tail, alright. Alright, well, I'll take the free win. I'll take the free win for sure. We even get a critical hit. Now, the Psycho Cut increases the chances of critical hits, so it's like 20% if I remember correctly. Maybe more, maybe like 25. But the opponent is in a terrible situation here. He cannot use Encore, he cannot use... I don't know, it seems like a really bad situation for the opponent. If I was the opponent, I would have probably tried for Darkglow and Moonblast onto the Fire Graph. Probably just going to... It's just Wide Guard Psychic Showing. If they decide to go for the Blizzard, we're just gonna stop it and take some free damage. Yeah, that is not going to work. That is real smart. I haven't seen that one. I'll give them that. They might go for Shadow Ball. If they go for Shadow Ball, Trick Room, well played to the opponent. They don't though. Ooh, that is perfect for us. Ooh, opponent, that is perfect for us, actually. If the opponent had gone for Trick Room and Hex or Shadow Ball, they would have been just fine. They would have been just fine. And now they're not. And now they're not at all fine. Because here comes the eruption. Oof. Oof, opponent. Oof. I would have gone with Trick Room and Hex. But it was a hard call either way. You cannot really guarantee what the opponent's gonna do. And at this point, it's just kind of a guarantee that we just win. We can Helping Hand or Psychic, and obviously both are fine, but I think I'm gonna Psychic. Aerodactyl's special defense is pretty low, and the Eruption should be able to finish the job, even not being very effective, so I'm gonna go for Eruption and then Psychic. And we one-shot that Aerodactyl even without be very effective or neutral, so oof, we are gonna be taking that win for sure.